So good day everyone. So today we are going to learn the nature of roots. This nature of roots is important because it tells something about the roots or the answer in our quadratic equation. So let's start. So we are going to start with the standard form of quadratic equation, and the standard form of quadratic equation is the ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And the quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Why we discuss first the standard form of quadratic equation and the quadratic formula. So here is the answer. So, the quadratic formula allows you to solve any quadratic equation even if you cannot factor it. And an important piece of the quadratic formula is what? Under the radical, which is b squared minus 4ac. And this piece is called the discriminant. At bakit naman kailangan nating hanapin si discriminant? Kasi si discriminant ang magsasabi ng nature ng roots. How are you going to describe your roots? So, why is the discriminant important? Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko. So, the discriminant tells you the number and times of answer or the roots you will get. And the discriminant can be a positive, a negative, or 0, which actually tells you a lot. So, since the discriminant is under the radical, think about what it means if you have a positive or negative number or 0 under the radical. So, yun ang pag-aaralan natin for this lesson. So, then, how to find the discriminant? So, I have here an example. So, this example is to find the discriminant. But first, we are going to follow the steps in solving for the discriminant. So, the first step is to write the equation in standard form, and which is the ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And according to our example number 1, we have x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. This is already in standard form, kaya hindi na natin siya babaguhin. Ano ang sunod na step? Ang sunod na step ay i-identify ang value ng A, ng B, at ng C. At paano natin makukuha si value ng A, si B, at si C? So, titingnan natin ang ating equation. So, yung A, katabi ni x squared, which is 1. Si B, edi katabi ng ating x, which is negative 2. Eh, bakit ma'am kasama ang negative 2? Yes, kasi yung negative sign na operation, that is the sign of your B. So, include the sign before the number. Then, we have C, or the constant term, is negative 15. Then, after we have our values of A, B, and C, proceed tayo sa step 3, which is substitute these values to b squared minus 4ac, and this is the formula to find the discriminant. So, d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So, substitute lang natin. D is equal to negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 15. Ayun, negative 15. So, we have negative 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1 times 15. The answer is positive 64. And that is how we solve for the value of the discriminant. So, napakasimple. Just write, ano nga ulit? Write first the given equation into standard form. Kung naka-standard form, okay na. And then, identify the values of A, B, and C. Then, after that, we are going to substitute it to our formula, which is b squared minus 4ac. Then, let us have an example on how to set your standard form. So, activity number 1A, set me to your standard. So, rewrite each equation, quadratic equation, into standard form. So, can you write this in a standard form? So, sabi nga, now it's your turn. So, try nyo nga po. Okay, so what is the answer in number 1? So, number 1, we have, ano kayang sagot sa number 1? So, we have x squared minus 5x minus 14. Bakit, ma'am? Kasi yung 14, itatranspose mo lang sa kabila. So, yung positive magiging negative 14. Then, for number 2, so we have copy 2x squared plus x. Then, si 5, ililipat mo sa kabila, kaya siya ay magiging negative 5 is equal to 0. Then, number 3, we have, okay, so ito naman si bx ang nasa kabila, siya ang ililipat mo sa kabila, so magiging negative 10x. So, our answer is x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0. How about number 4? Okay, so we have 4x squared, transpose itong dalawang term. So, magiging negative 9x kasi positive siya dito. Then, itong 7, negative 7, pag lumipat sa kabila, magiging positive 7. So, therefore, our answer is 4x squared minus 9x plus 7 equals 0. Then, number 5, ano kayang sagot natin? So, we have 3x squared plus 2x minus 5 equals 0. So, now that you know how to set the standard form of quadratic equation, let us proceed to the next activity. Okay, so next activity, using the given quadratic equation. On activity number 1, let us find out what are the values or identify the values of A, B, and C. So, will you please find out what are the values of A, B, and C? Try nyo nga. Okay, let us have our answer. So, we have letter A, or A is equal to 1. As you can see, siya kasi ay naka-standard form na. So, all you have to do is to find out what is the value of A, B, and C. So, we have A is 1, B is negative 5. Hindi na isinasali yung ating variable kasi yung kinukuha lang natin is the numerical coefficient of each variable. Ibig sabihin, yung number lamang, hindi kasama yung mga variable. And then, our C is equal to negative 14. So, next, kung mapapansin ninyo, hindi siya naka-standard form. Kaya, ang gagawin natin, itong 5 magiging negative 5. So, tingnan nga natin ang sagot. So, we have A is equal to 2, B is equal to 1, and C is equal to negative 5. Very good. Next, how about number 3? So, A is equal to 1. Then, ang B natin ay itong BX, itong 10X. So, ililipat sa kabila, magiging negative 10. Okay. And then, ang C natin, since hindi siya ililipat, still positive 25. Then, for number 4, we have 4, yes, and then our B is equal to negative 9, and our C is equal to 7. So, as you can see, the given equation is in the standard form. So, kaya kung anong kanyang sign, yun na yung gagamitin natin, hindi mababago. Okay, in number 5, parehas din, naka-standard form na. So, A is equal to 3, B is equal to 2, and C is equal to negative 5. Okay, then, ito naman ay solving for the value of the discriminant. So, given these numbers or equations, will you please find the value of the discriminant using the formula b squared minus 4ac. Try nyo nga po, 1 to 5. Number 1, ang given natin, x squared minus 5x minus 14. Naka-standard form na. Number 2, we have 2x squared plus 5. Anong mangyayari kay 5? Ta-transpose, magiging negative 5 equals 0. Then we have number 3, we have x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0. Then number 4, we have 4x squared minus 9x plus 7 equals 0. And number 5, we have 3x squared plus 2x minus 5 equals 0. So, do you have your answer? So, number 1, try nga natin kung anong sagot sa number 1. What do you think is the answer in number 1? So, if we're going to substitute, magiging negative 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 14. At ano ang sagot natin? Okay, A, 81. How about number 2? What is the correct answer in number 2? So, magiging sagot natin, or solution, we have 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 5 is letter C, which is 41. Okay, do you have correct answer? Next, number 3. We have the solution, negative 10 squared, which is 100, minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 25 is equal to 100. So, 100 minus 100 is equal to 0. Okay, the answer is letter A. How about number 4? So, in number 4, we have negative 9 squared is 81. Minus 4 times 4 is 16 times 7. So, 81 minus, anong ima-minus natin doon? Oh, 50. 81 minus 50 ba? So, the answer is letter A, negative 31. And then, we have negative or 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 5. And the answer is letter C, which is 64. Okay, let us proceed. Okay, ito na class. Yung evaluation about our discriminant. So, alam na natin kung paano kuhanin si discriminant. Alam na natin na si discriminant ay dapat makuha. Paano nga daw dapat kinukuha ang discriminant? So, kailangan ay gamitin ang formula ng b squared minus 4ac. Ngayon, class, ang evaluation ng discriminant ay sa nature. Paano natin i-describe ang ating roots. Ano ba yung roots? Yung roots natin, class, ay yun yung mga sagot natin sa ating quadratic equation. Okay, so let us have an evaluation about the following equation. So, in number 1, x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Kung mapapansin nyo, meron na ditong sagot. And ang sagot ay D is equal to 81. Kung ang ating sagot ay 81, ay di syempre ang discriminant is greater than 0. And as you can see, ang number na 81 ay perfect square. So if our answer in the discriminant is greater than 0 and it is a perfect square, ibig sabihin ng perfect square ay perfect kapag nilagay sa radical sign, ang ating nature ng roots ay real, rational, and equal. Okay? Real, rational, equal kapag ka greater than 0 or tinatawag nating positive number tapos perfect square pa siya. Real, rational, equal, unequal. Okay. Number 2, we have 2x squared plus x minus 5 equals 0. And the given discriminant is 41. So, another discriminant which is positive or greater than 0. Pero, ang given nating number is not a perfect square. So, ano naman ito? Positive nga siya, pero hindi siya perfect square. Therefore, the nature of the roots is also a real number, pero siya ay irrational at unequal. So, yun ang pagkakaiba. Kahit siya ay positive, meron pa rin pagkakakilanlan kung siya ay perfect or not perfect square. Kapag siya ay perfect square, rational. Pero kapag siya ay not a perfect square but it is a positive number, it is a real number, irrational, and unequal. Okay, example number 3, we have x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0. So, in this given equation, kung mapapansin ninyo, this is a perfect square trinomial. Bakit? Kasi ang b natin, kapag dinivide mo sa 2 at in-square mo, lalabas si c. Tingnan nyo. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Square of negative 5 is positive 25. That is why this is called a perfect square trinomial. So, if the discriminant, ito, ang naging discriminant niya ay 0. Kapag perfect square kasi, ang discriminant lagi niyan ay 0. Kapag siya ay equal to 0, the nature of the roots ay real, rational, at equal. Ibig sabihin, kahit dalawang maging value, parehas ang value. Unlike dun sa positive, na perfect, at saka not a perfect square, dalawa ang value nito. Dito naman, isa lang kasi parehas nga sila sa number 3. Okay, next, number 4. We have 4x squared minus 9x plus 7 equals 0. So, in this case, class, kung mapapansin niyo ang naging value ng D ay negative 31. At kapag nagkaroon tayo ng negative number na value ng discriminant, tatandaan na siya, ang nature ng roots ay imaginary. Kapag imaginary, ang sinasabi nating imaginary number, yun ay walang solution or tinatawag nating not real, no real solution. Ibig sabihin, pagka yun ang nagiging value na niya ay negative number dun sa loob ng radical sign, inihihinto na ang pagsosolve kasi no real solution. Hanggang doon na lang ang pagsosolve. Okay? So, try nga natin. So, determine whether the given discriminant is A, greater than 0, perfect square, B, greater than 0, not a perfect square, and C, equals to 0, and D, less than 0. Okay, number 1. What do you think is the answer in number 1? 95. So, siya ay Letter B, greater than 0, kasi positive, and not a perfect square. How about number 2, 225? Okay? So we have letter A, greater than 0, and a perfect square. Bakit siya sinabing perfect square? Kasi siya ay makukuha kapag minultiply nyo ang 15 times 15, which is 225. How about number 3? O, may malilito pa dito. Ang number 3 ay negative 9. Diba ang 9 perfect square? Pero negative siya, ma'am. Kaya anong tamang sagot? So the answer is letter D, less than 0. And then number 4, we have 0. Okay, letter C kasi equals to 0. And number 5, we have 63. That is letter B, greater than 0 but not a perfect square. Okay. Next, determine whether the given discriminant is A, real, rational, equal, B, real, rational, unequal, C, real, irrational, unequal, and D, imaginary. Okay, number 1. So 12. If we have 12, what do you think is our roots or the nature of the roots? If our discriminant is 12, what do you think is our nature? What is the nature of the root kapag ka 12? Okay, letter C. Bakit? Kasi siya nga ay positive, pero hindi siya perfect square. That's why we have real, irrational, and equal. How about number 2? We have 0. So, ano siya? The answer is, yes, letter A. We have real, rational, equal. And then, how about number 3? 49. So, the answer is letter B because, bakit kaya B? Real, rational, and equal. Kasi po, ang 49 ay perfect square. That is why the solution set or the roots are real, rational, and equal. How about number 4? We have negative 5. Okay, letter D. So, lagi natin tatandaan, kapag ang discriminant ay negative, it is always an imaginary number or no real solution. Then, number 1, we have 27. Ano naman kapag 27? Okay, letter C. This is also a positive number, pero hindi siya perfect square. That is why real, irrational, unequal. Okay. So, in this case class, you are going to answer this. Try nyo nga po. Copy the equation and try to answer the following. Find the discriminant using the formula b squared minus 4ac, and then tell the nature of the roots. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you learn from this lesson or from this video. At kung may comment kayo, just comment down para kung ano pa yung ating dapat i-discuss or kung meron kayong clarification or question, you can comment down. And thank you for watching. Happy learning! Bye!